How does a movie talk about money, value, capital? These are all things that play into most stories set in our modern era, and if you want a real discussion about it, there's only one place to look, and it's to the 1%. There's always been a powerful subgenre of movies that are about people who seemingly control our macroeconomic fortunes, whether it's Wall Street, Boiler Room, The Big Short, The Wolf of Wall Street, or a number of other films. Generally, we'll only get a few of these per decade, but in the years following the '08 financial crisis, we got more than normal, and I recently found one that went under the radar only to crop back up on Netflix a decade after it was released. It's called Margin Call. The premise of the film can be easily explained in a single sentence. A major Wall Street firm learns that it's sitting on a toxic commodity and must make a decision to either save themselves or harm others. The execution of the plot, however, is unlike what I think most filmmakers would be willing to do. When Martin Scorsese makes a film like The Wolf of Wall Street, he uses it to ridicule the rich. At first, Leonardo DiCaprio's Jordan Belfort seems like a person that most young professionals would like to become. A hardworking, talented, and ambitious young man. But by the end of his arc, he's a conniving, drug-addled mess incapable of keeping any element of his life together. When Adam McKay makes a film like The Big Short, he uses it to show us that there are systemic problems within our economic practices, and that those problems are made worse by greed. But, crucially, that there are a few select people who are smart enough to recognize those problems and maybe do something about them. Margin Call, on the other hand, is about how the chain of command manufactures consent for some of the worst things that humanity is capable of, because everyone has a boss. At the start of the film, we're introduced to two financial analysts, then their boss, then their boss's boss, then their boss's boss's boss, and then finally, his boss. And when we get to the top, when we meet the man with more money than God and the power to change the economic status quo for millions of people, we learn that even he has a boss, and its name is the stock market.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Sullivan. Do you care to know why I'm in this chair with you all? I mean, why I earn the big bucks?
Yes.
I'm here for one reason and one reason alone. I'm here to guess what the music might do a week, a month, a year from now. That's it. Nothing more. And standing here tonight, I'm afraid that I don't hear a thing.
It's clear that as we move our way up this chain and eventually back down it, that actions with severe and lasting consequences are justified simply because it's what someone higher up on the chain ordered. There are two quirks to this movie that I found absolutely fascinating. First, that we're told how much money each major character makes.
86 million. In bonuses and salary.
Really?
Sure, it's public record.
And it's a lot of fucking money.
And then, secondly, how they justify the things that they do. Margin Call is a movie that discusses money, how it ultimately makes fools of all of us, even when we have more of it than almost anyone else.
I'll do it, John, but not because of your little speech, but because I need the money. Hard to believe after all these years, but I need the money.
It's also about how those who get ahead aren't often the most intelligent or the hardest working. They're just the ones who are willing to get their hands dirtier than others. In my opinion, it's one of the most honest representations of what our modern work experiences look like, and it feels eerily prescient considering that it was released in 2011. Margin Call came out of nowhere and surprised the shit out of me. I highly recommend checking it out on Netflix if you're looking for a drama that treats capitalism with a little more honesty than you might be used to.
This is really going to affect people.
Yeah, it's going to affect people like me.
Real people.
Jesus, Seth. Listen, if you really want to do this with your life, you have to believe you're necessary, and you are. People want to live like this in their cars and their big fucking houses they can't even pay for, then you're necessary. The only reason that they all get to continue living like kings is because we got our fingers on the scales in their favor. I take my hand off, when then the whole world gets really fucking fair, really fucking quickly, and nobody actually wants that. They say they do, but they don't. They want what we have to give them, but they also want to, you know, play innocent and pretend they have no idea where it came from. Well, that's more hypocrisy than I'm willing to swallow, so fuck.
Don't forget to make your blood offering to the algorithm gods by liking and subscribing. Leave a comment below if you've seen Margin Call, and let me know what you thought of the movie.